Morning, y'all. At the park with my girls. As promised, we're going to be doing some education around here. I'm going to put together some videos, as often as possible, answering questions about dog rescue and ways to support pups in your community. First and foremost, a question that we've been asked a lot lately, kind of as a result of all of these shady organizations coming to light, which is a shame. And I really feel like people should understand that these, organizations they are the exception to the rule, not the rule. I think the vast majority of the people that are doing dog rescue are good people with good hearts that are, trying to do the right thing. I think that there are very few cases throughout the country of people who are just downright criminal about the way they approach this kind of work and are in it for the wrong reasons and are doing it for money. But obviously, those stories are going to get way more widely shared. So, you got 4 different organizations at once, being investigated. It seems like, every rescue is bad, but that's 4 in 40,000. So what I'm here to do is give you guys some advice on how to spot an organization that is worth your donations, that is worth your support and your time. What I'm not going to do is make a list of things that I think are bad that rescues do that mean you shouldn't follow them, because I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. We're not here for all that. We're here for positivity. We're here to help the community. And I feel like a lot of the bad stuff is a lot easier to spot than the good stuff. You know what I mean? I will just say, as a general rule of thumb, if you go in the comments on a post and a bunch of people are saying something bad, not just one person, but a bunch of people, and they're all saying the same thing, I don't know, maybe believe those people. But that's on you. Again, we're just going to focus on what kind of stuff I think is obviously a sign of an organization that is worth your support. Also, don't be surprised that our organization is going to check all of these boxes, right? Because I'm the one making this list, and I obviously want to run a good organization. So I'm not just talking about myself here. I feel like there are a lot of great organizations that I learned from, you know what I mean? So just because an organization doesn't do all of the things that I'm talking about here doesn't mean they're a bad organization. Right off the bat, I would say social media and showing the work is a real important aspect of how we operate. Some of these folks that run dog rescues are way more focused on the work than social media, and might not have the experience that I do or my wife does with regards to how to run an Instagram page or a Facebook page and how to create content. That doesn't mean they're a bad organization. If anything, if you spot an organization or if you know people that do that kind of work really well but aren't able to show it, help them. You do that. So first and foremost, I would say the kind of organizations that really deserve your support in 2026 are ones that are focused on preventative measures, spay and neuter. It ain't always pretty, and it's costly, but it is the only way to have an effect on the unwanted pet population. What I mean by that is you pull a dog from the shelter, you're going to get a lot of attention from that pull, right? And significantly less when you fix that dog or find a home for that dog, right? So it's easy as an organization to be we just got to keep pulling dogs, and then people will keep following us and people will keep making donations. But you pull too many dogs, and then you're in a position where you can't adequately care for the dogs that are in your care, right? So I think that the organizations that are focused on getting as many dogs fixed as possible or creating a vehicle for people to fix their dogs are the ones that really deserve your support in an unwanted pet population crisis. That's not always going to be dog rescues per se. Snip Bus, for example, not a dog rescue, but an organization that is dedicated to fixing as many dogs as possible. That's the kind of animal welfare operation that you should be supporting in an unwanted pet population crisis. And I don't know, I'm sure there are other organizations like that nationally that are just focused on spay and neuter and making these services available to as many people as possible, either by, doing mobile clinics and bringing them to high volume areas, or like voucher systems, whatever. Anybody focused on spay and neuter right now deserves your support, because that is the only way out of this crisis. Also, not glamorous, but effective. Look for organizations that have low administrative overhead. That doesn't necessarily mean small organizations, but organizations with a small staff or board. A lot of people want to help, right? So like organizations that have a ton of fosters or volunteers, but a small staff or board, those are great organizations, right? Reason I say that is because if you donate to like a big box rescue, chances are you're paying salaries for staff. And I'll probably make a whole video about big box rescues like Best Friends or Humane Society, and I don't know how effective that kind of rescue. I mean, obviously, like, those are necessary organizations, but I don't feel like they're always focused on the right things. And like, if you want to really make sure that your dollars are going to help dogs, then you want to donate to an organization that is going to use those dollars on dogs, as opposed to like paying rent for their many buildings, or, salaries for their CEO. And those organizations they don't really need your support as much as a small organization does. They have plenty of vehicles to generate income, and there's a lot of, small organizations that are struggling to keep the ball rolling and entirely depend on the support of their communities. So I think small organizations with low administrative overhead, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck with regards to your donations actually helping dogs. Kind of talked about this in the beginning, but I think showing the work is an important part of identifying an organization that deserves your support. Obviously, like, if you could see that your donations, like if people donate items and then you see those items go to dogs that need them, or people donate money and then you see that money spent on the dogs, like, that's obviously going to be the best case scenario for you as a donor. Like I said previously, like, not all organizations are skilled in the art of content creation and social media. That is a skill that we brought into this because, both myself and my wife previously kind of depended on our use of social media to make our living. And now we're using those powers for good. But yeah, I think that if you could see the work, then it'll give you a good feeling, and it'll let you know that your money is going to the right place. All right, we got to do it moving. Penny's being nasty and eating poop. Penny, that's gross. What else? I would make sure that the organization you're supporting is a valid 501c3. Both because if you donate to a 501c3, your donation is tax deductible. You can get something back on your taxes, and you can donate more if you feel like it. But also because there are zero standards for being a dog rescue. There's no classes we take. There's no certificate or anything like that. Anybody could just call themselves a dog rescue. At least to be a 501c3, you have to file your taxes. You have to file your income and your board member salaries. So there is some standards that we have to hold ourselves to. All right. And finally, research is important. I think if you're going to donate your time or money to an organization, then you should probably just like comb their social media, ask about them throughout the community, just see what their reputation is. And if there's anything questionable, then maybe follow up on that, maybe find another organization to support. But it is important. She's trying to eat poop again. Gross. Okay, come on, girls. Let's go. Let's get in the van. Pop up. Pop up. Pop up. There you go. All right, that's it, y'all. Do some research. Stick to 501c3s, probably. Look for organizations that show the work. Look for organizations that have low administrative overhead. And also, spay and neuter is the key to exiting this unwanted pet population crisis. So maybe focus mostly on organizations that are primarily focused on preventative measures. And that's it, really. I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much to all of the folks that support our organization. We will continue to try to stick to all of these core principles. Hopefully we can find our way out of this unwanted pet population crisis. Hopefully the shelter can go back to serving the community, and we can find ourselves in a place where we're not scrambling frantically, just trying to, stay above water in the world of animal welfare. Appreciate y'all. Peace.